a revitalized Fnatic come into the Pro League finals somewhat of an unknown quantity. Their online form has been formidable, finishing first in the regular season. Breezing through this stacked group in a similar fashion may mean Fnatic are truly back. In-game leader Kerrigan finds himself in the spotlight for more than one reason. After an unexpected defeat in Oakland versus NIP, with rivals SK waiting on the other side, FaZe Clan will want a strong showing in the groups before a seemingly inevitable meeting with the Brazilians. Astralis are without device for their long-awaited showing in the finals. However, a fiery display at the Blast just 2 weeks ago bodes well for this versatile unit. It's clear the Danes are not to be underestimated no matter the circumstances. Team Liquid come into the ESL Pro League finals in desperate need of a good offline showing. Twists looks to be growing into a true star, but without newcomer Steel, they will need more than one standout performer. A new-look Hellraisers only just scraped into the finals by the skin of their teeth. Now, they will be relying on veteran Angel to pull this inexperienced outfit together if they are to stand any chance of progressing. Luminosity fought for their place with an admirable performance in the online portion of Season 6. But this is a completely different kettle of fish, and they find themselves in at the deep end.
Astralis versus FaZe is how we'll be kicking off Group A. I love those videos. Gets you real red up, and we are locked and loaded, ready to start breaking this one down, albeit briefly. I have myself Sponge and YNK, myself Machine, going to be hosting this one as we continue to try and find out who is going to be going home in Group A. This is our last day of group play. FaZe and Astralis both in dire need of 3, if not 2 points, the way this point system does work. A win, you're always going to be getting at least 2 points. Gentlemen, Yanko, first of all, I mean, we have this matchup where we would love to see it, but there's still this huge asterisk looming over us, and we will be focusing on Astralis and trying to find some positives as we venture into this matchup.
Well, just look back a week or 2 or so, and Astralis with a standing made the finals of Blast, albeit it was Dennis, not Rubino, and they almost won that whole thing versus SK. So, I mean, if you're going to go on and say, oh, it seems Astralis can do very well with a standing, then you can't really, you know, come into this tournament and say, well, we don't expect anything from Astralis. The core of the team is still there. Yes, it's one player, but as you know, the guys at the casting that's already pointed out, he did pretty well yesterday. It's not like he was dragging the team back or anything. So as long as he can hold his own and do his part, you still expect Astralis to at least make it out of groups.
I think this change-up has definitely been needed for Astralis because within the structure it's been fantastic, but the stars like Kyobi, Dupree, those kind of guys haven't had a chance to shine because they've been very rigid in their approach. This is good. We can get to see, you know, Kyobi going off. We get to see Dupree on the AWP. And everyone's favourite stats man, HLTV.org, Peter. The game will go live in 1 restart. Yeah. Anyway, he's a great dude. He put out a lovely stat. He said during 2016, Dupree had 33 AWP kills on LAN. Yesterday, he had 30 in 2 maps. So this is a bit of action we saw from Blast not that long ago, and this was Dupree going absolutely nuts with 2 back-to-back huge clutches against none other than SK on the AWP, not something that is his main role or has ever been his role. And the guy's just beasting it up. He's really just getting stuck in.
He looks so comfortable, and it's something that you don't get to see unless, you know, a ton of events like this. Unfortunately, Device, it has been, you know, locked to his home due to health issues, and it does mean Dupree will be picking himself up the AWP and taking that primary AWP role. And I mean, he delivered in Blast. It's good to see him showing some diversity.
Check this no-scope that's coming up in
it's filthy,
in a couple of seconds. It's quite dirty.
Yeah, true. These 2 clutches have been absolutely mad, and I mean, it does a lot for Dupree in terms of confidence, right? He was going to pick up the AWP regardless as a secondary AWPer of the team, but you know, to be able to be primary one and to see what it's like to actually go against the primary AWPer of the opposing team really gives you a sense of what it takes to be an AWPer at this level of competition.
I mean, this was, 1v4s versus some of the world's best. And, you know, it did seem like that Blast success was, well, certainly not predicted by our analysts. You know,
no way.
We were all expecting a very dreary performance, but is it something that can be replicated easily, Chad? That's a different question.
Well, I think, you know, the fire in the belly of it still being in Denmark, right in the home country, they said that Blast was special to them for that reason. Here it comes. Bang! Cop that. I think you're going to have the same kind of mentality coming into this one, right? And we need a Danish team in the arena because the Danish fans are going to be screaming for it. But they have a tall task. They're going up against this FaZe roster where it's not going to be easy. Even though they were able to get that 16-14 victory on Inferno, FaZe are probably not going to make the same mistakes again.
And I mean, there is an unpredictable nature, right, Yank? We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Having a stand-in, there are some benefits to having a bit of an unknown style of play and a bit of an unpredictable nature to your gameplay.
True, and you are allowed to be a bit more loose and a bit more crazy in what you do on both sides of the map. We saw it yesterday for FaZe against Liquid, right? Liquid was mostly trying to go for contact plays, brute force their way in on the T side, explode towards that A bomb site on Mirage, and it seemed like FaZe was caught off guard by it in the beginning. It took them quite some time to adjust, and really it was only by the skin of their teeth that they managed to bring that back and win it 16-14.
Yeah, very, very close map. And speaking of maps, actually, we should probably get those vetoes going and rolling. Still best of ones, and it is a round-robin format. Everyone plays each other once, and the map has yet to be determined. We'll bring up those vetoes so we can start talking about this one. Chad, what are you saying?
Same old, no cobble, probably no nuke.
Yeah.
We're going to be middle ground maps again, the Infernos, the Mirages, the Cache. But I'd probably be banning Inferno if I was FaZe because you did lose on that last time. Just remove that from the equation and aim for something a little bit different.
Okay, I mean, you got most of them. Cobble's still left by FaZe. There is another ban, of course, from them. We'll see if that second block does answer your questions as to whether FaZe's curveball Cobble.
The thing is, you can kind of float that, right? Because both teams don't really like playing it. So whoever's going to leave it through is the one who has the disadvantage. And FaZe are going to get rid of Inferno as the last one, and we play Mirage, which is a fantastic map for the likes of FaZe.
Yeah, you called it. It's where Dupree had some of those AWP heroics as well. We just saw them on the screens. Yanko Mirage, that kind of makes a lot of sense to you then.
Yeah, it's interesting to see FaZe not veto it and go for Inferno simply because Astralis played Mirage yesterday, and when you have a stand and you want to play the same maps as much as possible, because it's not about only what you practice, it's about what you got to actually compete at, and they got to play Mirage at this tournament. So I'm sure Astralis is gonna feel comfortable coming into this one. It was an overtime game as well, so they got to play a lot of rounds. But for FaZe, it is one of their strongest maps, very good T side, and it was CT side where they had problems. So just a bit more focused on that side of the map, and they are the favorite here.
Well, FaZe no doubt's the favourite. We'll see what Astralis can do, but it is time for us to go ahead and hear from our casters. They're going to be shedding their insight on how they think FaZe and Astralis is going to go down. It's the ever-lovely Vince and Jason Moses O'Toole.
Yes, thank you, Alex. We are going to be taking you through this one, Vince and I, and it's going to be a good one to start the day. It's going to be a long day of Counter-Strike. We had a long day yesterday, and we're going to be in for a ride today as well. Possible tiebreakers and everything coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we had, what, 3 overtimes yesterday, I think?
In the first 2 games, and that was just on... Oh, God bless.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. All of it. Jesus.
It's making me really nervous with it that close.
Yeah, I don't
trust any of you. What are these over here?
I'm not... Just so you guys can... I'm not even sure what they are.
Yeah, either way, we are going to get live into the game. It is into the freeze time, so the birthday cake is going to have to wait until afterwards, until between the maps. Astralis versus FaZe, 2 of the best teams that we have in Counter-Strike going head-to-head here in the group stage of ESL Pro League Finals. Right off the bat, we see there's a little bit of utility on the FaZe side of things. Smoke flash on Kerrigan. It's all armor for the Astralis side of things.
Yep, full armor, ready to duel to the death. Xyp9x is up on the van once again. Pretty standard. They were playing with him pretty much alone for the majority, as we were seeing yesterday. And sometimes it did catch them off a little bit. So you can see by the setup right now that really the only player that's anywhere close to him is Rubino. And that's going to take him a good 5-10 seconds to rotate around if they go for a push.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of faith in Xyp9x, and I guess it's the right person to have faith in. He's so very good. We did see him get, as you said, yesterday in the same kind of a setup. He got exploited by Liquid. It's not going to happen here. FaZe is being so very cautious on this pistol round. No pressure anywhere. Kerrigan might just run into it. This is great aggression from Kerrigan. Kerrigan's not expecting it whatsoever. That's a clean kill. And now that indicates the rest of FaZe to move forward towards the bomb site.
Huge as well. Clave's going to be able to get the drop on Guardian as he tries to push straight past Dupree with a headshot. And it's all headshots all day. Rain is the only player that's answered back. Nico's done significant damage to Dupree, unable to finish him. And now has to scurry away back into the embracing arms of Palace. But, I mean, this round is surely a foregone conclusion. That being said, though, Rain has made it interesting with his kill.
It's never a foregone conclusion with these guys on the board. Rain has 2. He hasn't taken a point of damage. He's got armor and a P250. They should know where everyone else is. Nico's fought with both of these players, and Rain now knows where the third is. And he's going to be aggressive. Oh, that's a sick jumping shot. How has that worked out? And they could get more. Nico with the USP brings Caribbean down to 16. The bomb is being planted right at the nick of time. And they're still alive somehow, and they're making it work. Caribbean doesn't know how this has happened, and all of a sudden he's on the back foot. 1 HP in a 1-on-2. It was so atrocious for FaZe for the longest time, but Rain has brought them back in with 3 kills. And there it is. He's going to finish it off as well. Somehow they pull off a pistol round, and Xyp9x can do nothing but laugh.
That was, what, a 2v4, I think?
2v5.
2v5 even. And I think Nico was stuck in the palace as well, so that's just absolutely ridiculous. That shot from Rain is filthy.
I mean, even with 6 seconds left, picking up the bomb, knowing your teammate's fighting someone at ramp, if he goes down, you lose that round just having to stick the plant. But Rain pulls them from certain defeat.
That is pretty much the worst way to start the day for Astralis. A pistol round that should have been theirs has now slipped away. They're into a force with a UMP and pistols. Only the 1 smoke. And no kits on top of it. So FaZe, I mean, they're in such good shape at this stage, and they're already taking mid control with the smoke into window.
I have to say as well, hopefully that pistol round woke FaZe up, just because that pistol round seemed like they didn't necessarily have a plan whatsoever together. They're very fortunate to get away with that one. Rubino gets forced back with a deagle, a missed shot from him. There's Caribbean finding Guardian, though. He's probably going to be confused. There must have been a gap in that smoke, otherwise it's just very lucky spam. There's the Mac 10 coming into ladder room. So they found some ground to work with towards the B-bomb site.
Xyp9x is about to get hot and heavy for him. He has to back off. He's going to give up the apps control for the time being, although there are 2 of them stacked here, and a third is close by with Kirby.
And again, much like the pistol round, FaZe has actually lost a lot of players. They've bled some manpower as they take control, as they kind of progress towards the bomb site. So 3-on-4 for them. Nico's spotted Glaive. That'll be an easy kill. The A bomb site is open now.
Like that little peek just to see the pixel of the shoulder protruding through. As you say, though, it has came at cost, so the Olofmeister is going to try and put this round to rest. 2 players lost wouldn't be the worst outcome, but it should be a third. That being said, Nico survives by the skin of his teeth. Galil headshot from range, and now Kirby and his deagle. We've seen magic happen from this young man in the past, but I think this is a bridge too far. Definitely would rather save the Galil. Can drop the deagle to someone else on his team.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Especially if you drop the Galil over, you can have a player pick up body armor as well. And then you've got a deagle body armor, you've got Galil body armor. If you want to risk that on the CT side, it might be something where they just say, we just want to save the money, but still, bring another weapon into the fight. Looking for one final exit kill on Olof if he does present himself. And the opportunity is there. It's all down to timing. Either way, it'll be 2-0 for FaZe after that miraculous pistol round.
Sure will. This does give Astralis some options, as you highlighted before, if they want to invest a little bit. Kirby on 2.7k. The problem would be that if they did go for another Kevlar, it would really leave one of these weak and when they did go for the next buy. So instead, he's just dropping the deagle to do pre. He's going to rock with the Galil, pick up a smoke, and it gives them 2 power plays as opposed to 1. But again, it is bottom of the barrel stuff here. FaZe, if they don't pick up a third round, I mean, this is a massive error.
Yeah, all the advantages in the world on the FaZe side of things. The one question mark is this Galil and where it might be. Nade is going to force Kirby back, and now Nico's at least called out where the shots rang out initially, and Kirby's going to change his position, going back through CT spawn, likely towards that B-bomb site. Mid control again for FaZe.
Dupree's just had his arm blown off down to 17. Another smoke to be replenished in window. Guardian does get dinked, but able to capitalize from his position and his superior firepower as Glaive will fall. So it is looking as though FaZe will extend their lead to a 3-0. Kirby is stacked with a couple more players here with the Galil. So, I mean, if there's going to be any hope of this round, you have to feel that Galil's going to have to come into fruition and bag a couple of kills at the very least.
That smoke kind of neutralizes the play that Kirby wanted to make when the initial smoke fades. Wanted to take a gander, see if he can catch someone snoozing. Perhaps allow players like Rubino and Xyp9x in ladder room to take the aggression before he peeks. He's at an off angle with that deagle, and it brings him down to 1 as he's sandwiched by the flames. There's some good USP work. The The rest of FaZe now working towards the A bomb site. Unfortunately, it's a stack towards B for Astralis, so shouldn't be able to get a whole lot done, but some kills coming out here at the end.
Yeah, which is going to be more nades for the next buy. So all things considered, it's really not that bad. They had a Deagle and a Galil into this round, and Xyp9x is a dead man alongside Rubino. Kirby may even just save the Galil again. Would be a nice little bolster, a little boost to the next buy.
Exactly. That's the big thing. Even though the Galil isn't necessarily the best weapon you'd want into the next round, why not just keep it? It is a rifle. You can do some work with it, and also make sure you have all the nades and play the economy game. You don't have to spend as much on the M4. Maybe even being able to drop an AWP over to dupreeh to help him out.
I mean, the Galil, for me, on the CT side, would seem tailor-made for something like a B-Apps hold. If the smoke's down, you get the extra 5 bullets over the A4, so just more spraying power potential. So
more spraying power, less firepower overall, isn't it?
It is true, but you can see the difference it will make now to Astralis' pickup.
He can drop that up. I think that's probably what they're discussing right now, as dupreeh hasn't bought up, but he is going to buy that M4. So not bringing out the sniper quite yet. Guardian's going to have one of his own on the T side. And actually, Kirby could have dropped an M4 so that dupreeh could have gotten full nades, but again, perhaps choosing to play an economy game longer term. There's a gap underneath the smoke. dupreeh's got to be careful. I don't know if Olaf spotted him, but he's got him locked in at the moment.
Already though, Rain, in just space for about 10 seconds, has forced his way down right next to connector, rapid speed. A lot of control already being taken, and that's going to sting dupreeh. He's down to 30, Rubino 48. Great start for FaZe in the first rifle round that Astralis have got, but Olafmeister wildly spraying in the smoke is landing everywhere apart from where dupreeh is residing. How is dupreeh still alive and he just gets shanked instead? I'm sure he'd have rather have took the bullet in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And that's not a high percentage play from Olaf, so he pulls out the knife and he finds it. Meanwhile, Astralis is not peeking from CT spawn, and the rest of their teammates are dying all across the map. That's just straight up dueling from FaZe as they come out. Kerrigan with 2 kills and connector with that Galil. And Astralis gets wiped clean, and that's tough because now look at the economy. You can see it on your screen. Olaf almost at 10K after that knife kill. Almost 6K on Kerrigan and Guardian. So they've got plenty of money in the bank, and Kirby is going to spend some of that extra cash and get an M4 into this round. We'll see if he can do anything with it.
Yeah, equalizing his economy. He's down to around the rest of his team now, about 2,000, 2,500. But strangely enough, FaZe Clan, who were hemorrhaging kills and the pistols and the force buy, get a clean sweep on the rifle round. They didn't lose anybody there. So their money is looking fantastic. It's looking golden. Astralis, in the meanwhile, just a flashbang to play with in terms of utility. And Kirby did have the Galil a couple rounds prior in that power play. Didn't really pay off, but dupreeh's going to pick up the first eco with the spray, making sure he's not going to be able to escape from the ladder room.
This is a cool flank from Astralis. Kirby following up Glaive. They've got control of T-spawn. Olaf's going to check it out, though, and he's looking on point, and he's going to get the kill. Doesn't even get tagged. The tough part now, FaZe is going to have a decision to make because, yes, they're close towards this B bomb, so they're allowing Nico to solo probe into it, and he spotted 1. He's been flashed by another, so he's calling out 2 at B. That's going to prompt FaZe to just go towards the A bomb site. They know, if anything, there's going to be just 1 player here. And fortunately, because Glaive had that big flank with Kirby, there's no one at the A bomb site.
Astralis at least laying down a couple of FaZe. It's going to allow them to pick up weapons as well. Rubino and Glaive now occupying 2 assault rifles. And Rubino does have the Kevlar behind it, so maybe there is a little glimmer of hope. He spots himself Kerrigan, but the M4 used against the CTs. Rubino gets pierced, and Glaive will just want to save.
FaZe is looking on point individually so far in this game in terms of how well they're taking these fights and the battles that they're winning. So that's got to be worrying if you're Astralis. It's only been 1 gun round, so still early times. And I think if you're Astralis going into this next round, likely going to have an AWP with that full losing bonus. I think you need to put emphasis on mid control because this is pretty much every single round now that FaZe has had, 3 players in mid, and that's kind of where they're applying the most pressure.
Understandable pause as well. Astralis are on the brink of a buy and want to make sure that this one works. And they will have enough for pretty much everything they want. Interesting enough, an AUG has been picked up by dupreeh.
I like it.
Okay.
Bust it out. Get that scope in action. Tactical pause for the Danes. Chad brought up the nightmare scenario of no Danish teams in the playoffs. That would be a wild thing to think about.
definitely would. I mean, North are what, 0-3 in their group, and we've got Astralis who are 1-1. I think the stat is if they win 2 games, they're guaranteed to go through. So this would be a horrible body blow if they were to concede this game. And so far, you've got to say, I mean, they've been second best in every single possible metric.
Yeah. Here's a switch up from FaZe. This time it's 3 players towards A, Kerrigan and Olaf towards mid. So not as much pressure going to be applied to the middle of the map. Glaive is the only person at this A bomb site. If FaZe speeds this up, there is a timing they could hit that can be rough. Dupree's got his AWP on Catwalk, and Caribbe's finding intel in the underpass. Bomb for FaZe is still in T-spawn. This is going to be a very quiet hit. Minimal utility, and they're just going to walk up. They want no indication this is happening. Glaive is going to get forced out, and Rain's already waiting for him. That's really well done. Rubino is about to get backstabbed. He's about to get sandwiched, but he's blind anyway, so it doesn't even matter. And that's the A bomb site lost. That is beautiful from FaZe. A team that we've talked about has to establish some kind of tactical structure to fall back on. Well, that round it played out perfect tactically.
And a similar feeling to the last full rifle round we saw from Astralis, where FaZe just play aggressive, they get all the duels going their way. It was nothing particularly unique in terms of the strat. It was just bullets to faces, and job's done.
And this is going to be the tough part, because Astralis isn't challenging for a lot of this map control. They're giving a lot of respect and a lot of room over to FaZe. I mean, you could see no one even peeking towards a ramp. Just the fact that Rain's allowed to walk all the way out towards, almost towards jungle, right underneath the stairs, before he's even spotted. You're not holding them off of mid, so FaZe is getting whatever they want wherever they go. And if you're Glaive, you got to start thinking we need to stop some of this map control from the FaZe side of things.
It's probably what they're thinking about right about now, but it's of course in the pistol where you're expecting aggression to come into play. 2 players up mid. Rubino's at least going to land himself a 1D onto Kerrigan before Rain puts him down with a MAC-10. Glaive unable to take Sanctuary in shadows. There is a Molotov burning away. Able to jump onto the box. This puts you with a bit of the aim, but Rain knows it. Gets him through the wall. It's a 3-on-3 though, and Astralis do have Kirby round the back, but Rain knows it. His sixth sense was tingling, and down will go the flank.
Oh, Kirby has to be so frustrated with that one. That was a juicy flank that could have done some damage, and Rain's just on point. FaZe just covering him. No utility towards CT spawn. They're out of smokes, they're out of Molotovs, so just using the AK-47s to keep Zipnix at bay, and he's the only one left, and he's going to fall to Nico. 7-0 very quickly for Astralis. Now, we've painted a picture of doom and gloom where FaZe is getting whatever they want, and Astralis isn't really doing much to stop them. They've had a couple rounds of aggression. That flank towards T-spawn. They had one round where Caribou was pushing underpass, and unfortunately that aggression is just finding them nothing. So they're getting a little unlucky with where they're choosing to push. And now they're going to switch into the double op setup. So desperate times for the Astralis team. And a tactical pause coming out from FaZe. So they want to talk things over. They want to make sure they just keep piling on here. Kerrigan going off against his old team.
Absolutely, just trying to get into the minds of Astralis and maybe try and figure out if Astralis are going to mix things up. Obviously, unbeknownst to them, it's going to be double ops. Rubino with the second.
The tough part is, the nice thing is with the double op, they can get some of the picks with, like, you know, the strategy that FaZe just ran where they basically just walked up a ramp with minimal utility. That's an ideal tactic of an op, is watching that angle to be able to pick 1 or 2 off, since they're not smoking off every different location and they're trying to be slow-paced and quiet with it. Unfortunately, at the same time, FaZe, when they've hit the bomb site, are just killing everyone instantly. So you need time and you need to survive to get these ops to be effective. Dupree is in CT spawn with his own AWP. Rain is taking fast mid control. Rubino's op is blocked off, and there it is. Ringing true is the AWP of Dupree.
He's already into window, and Kirby has no idea about that. Just off his position and his movement, you can see that that was a complete surprise. Guardian, though, will answer back, murdering Glaive, and, well, we've been here before, Jason. FaZe Clan with a player up. A lot of presence across the map. They've got window control. Rubino needs to land this shot, and he's missed a couple. That's going to cost Dupree his life elsewhere on the map, and now Zipnix has gone down too. This has been a massacre.
Rain single-handedly just winning that round with positioning. In the middle of the map, he gets the 1 kill on a Kirby, and then he just holds off rotations. He holds off all the support structure that Astralis had, and buys so much time for FaZe to be able to find Guardian with 2 big picks at that A bomb site. Rubino surely to go down here eventually. So 1-on-2. Guardians waiting for the peek, and that's a great shot from Rubino. We saw a nice 4-kill out of him yesterday. So looking pretty snazzy with the AWP, but no chance and no hope of winning this round.
Yeah, the 4K yesterday was on the B site, and he actually clutched it. This time, as you say, no chance. Only on 14 health. FaZe Clan 8-0 up. And that was after Astralis just put in the life savings into a double AWP, and now it's Astralis that want to call a tactical timeout. They need to get their heads around what the hell's happening here. And it just seems like ruthless aggression off Rain or through ramp that's just picking them to pieces.
Yeah, Rain is being such a force of nature in the middle of the map. It's great. And it's especially because to start out this half, FaZe was putting 3 players there. And once they established map control, they've just basically left Rain to his device and just play it individually and just say, whatever you think is going to work, go for it. You have complete freedom in the middle of the map. And he's tearing Astralis to shreds. This defense is collapsing. And Astralis is just hemorrhaging rounds at this point. So another tactical pause. They've used 2 already in the first 8 rounds of this game. Just simply trying to figure out a way to stop this onslaught.
So Rubino's AWP is going to be the only primary weapon that they have to work with, but pistols will be alongside it. Let's see if they try any kind of aggression. Kirby is looking to push into underpass. Rubino in the meanwhile in connector. And we saw Kirby do this yesterday. And it picked him up a few kills with the M4. There's Warren looking for a second. It's going to land it onto Rain. And he tries to turn tail and run away. He's done his job. It may not be enough with FaZe Clan, as they found out in the pistol round, but it does give them a real hope.
Just one Deagle doing some work. That is a huge lead. Astralis have to win this. It's a 5-on-3, and they have 0 rounds on the board. This is a must-win scenario for the Astralis side. Rubino still with that AWP. Olaf is going to go back towards T-spawn. This is where there's always been the conversation about how good Olaf Meister is in the middle portions of the round, and actually he takes more damage than he would have liked there. He wanted that to be way, way cleaner. Would have been great if he could get that kill and then pressure the A bomb site all on his own. Some kind of a cushion for his teammates toward B.
And Kirby in this round now has done 282 damage just by himself. He's hoping and praying that one of his teammates can do the rest.
Yeah, this is one of those rounds of your Kirby. It's just, please win. I feel like I've done enough. Nico in the middle of the map. You have to watch for him to make the play that's going to allow his teammates to have the opening. They're getting flanked out, though. This play needs to come quick, or else Glaive is just going to keep moving forward. And Kerrigan and Olaf, they don't have their eyes on this at all. They're not even expecting it whatsoever. Kerrigan turns at the right moment. That's the bomb spotted. There's only 20 seconds left. I don't even think they have the time to go to A. They have to force their way into B, and Astralis knows this. Here's Nico to cut off one, but he's waiting patiently. He needs to just get that kill, and he does it. Kerrigan with one more, and it's all down to Zipnix. He's caught in the open. He's surrounded. 5 seconds left, and they take him down. Somehow, FaZe again coming back. 3-on-5, and they lose no one after that.
And you can see Kirby at the top left there, just for a second, face palming. You actually saw his head in his hand. He's like, guys, please. I did more than half their team damage.
Yeah.
Come on, help a brother out here.
Yeah, he really, really wants it, doesn't he? That's incredible stuff. And yeah, you touched on it. If you go back, if you just think the way this game started out was a 5-on-2 for Astralis in the pistol round that FaZe came back from. Rain got 4 kills there. And it hasn't slowed down since. Just that one round has changed everything. Dupree again with an opening pick as FaZe just walks out of a ramp. Rain almost able to find Glaive, but he's going to get taken out through the smoke. And now it's all working. Now it's all falling in the way of Astralis. Surely this round will be their first.
I mean, for their sanity, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? This has to be theirs. Guardian with 1, but now finds himself with 4 more CTs to hunt. But the hunter will become the hunted, as Glaive will get his 2nd in a row. And Astralis, welcome. It's been a while since we've seen you on the scoreboard. Hopefully you're going to add some more to make this more competitive.
First one's the hardest, right? At this point, if you're Astralis, you're just hoping for 5 rounds down this half. Obviously, you want all 6, but 5 rounds is probably more feasible. Surely you're going to give up 1 more, but we'll see. Olaf almost getting into position. The flashbang was well timed to force him back. Dupree smoked off, going to go for some kind of a timing. It's not with him. You have Rain coming from underpass. You're going to have 3 at the top mid, and you're going to have Nico all on his own towards A ramp.
Rain coming through underpass right now to join the rest of his team in mid. Glaive does have an eagle eye towards the underpass, but he hasn't seen anything just yet. There was nades blocking it before.
Nico's getting in position in Palace. And how this usually works is he'll get an angle towards top connector, towards jungle, and hope that the pressure from FaZe and middle forces someone from Astralis to fall back into his crosshair, perhaps a little bit unaware that he's truly exposed, and he'll be able to find an easy kill. We'll see how that works. Glaive is a possibility.
Be smoking off connector. Insta headshot from Carrigan. Delivered with a smile, and that is going to be FaZe now. Once again, romping onto the site. Kirby's all that remains, but not much longer. The last line of defense has fallen. And again, FaZe just procuring A with ease.
Here's the crazy thing is, this is where FaZe is their scariest looking. Because they're winning every single individual duel, I mean, you could see they're being the aggressors in connector. They're the ones that are dictating the pace and dictating the fights they want to take. Because that they can be spread out. They can keep Nico quiet in Palace. They can keep Guardian on Catwalk, not having to help out the main hit because they're winning those fights. And then all of a sudden you have some of the best individual players in the world all taking duels across the entirety of the map. So everyone from Astralis feels uncomfortable. No one knows when it's time to rotate. Everyone's kind of scared to make the play, to push up and go for some kind of a flank, because they know there's just going to be someone from FaZe there to stop them.
Again, Astralis, we've been here multiple times. Just Kirby with a weapon, everyone else with pistols. Already damage being inflicted through the smoke. Bino 19. Now looking for a bit more aggression on the short side, Astralis, but again, FaZe, just when it comes to the dueling, they've just been head and shoulders above Astralis. There's been no real competition in that front. Zipnix may be able to get the kill onto Rain. That's decent, able to back away as well. And I believe it's only him that's shown himself, so they may think that Zipnix, who is typically the B player anyway, is there alone. They could be baited into going for this site. But in the meanwhile, Glaive snaking round the back. Unfortunately, from his perspective, only a USP. It's going to be very hard for him to land a kill.
And Kerrigan's even looking for this as well. He's going to get up. Glaive's had a couple flanks through T-spawn, him and Caribbean, that have just not been well-timed. It hasn't been with him. Nico's making a play up connector as well. And he goes unseen. So again, FaZe has a player in position in the middle of the map to cut off rotations to find a pick. And he's going to peek towards Mark. He's going to go through it. Kirby's waiting. Maybe a bit over-aggressive if he could have just held that. Regardless, still an advantage for FaZe as they start using utility to get into this A bomb site, and Olaf Meister as well. Primed to trade these kills, and Kirby's got to do everything again. Guardian not looking. That's an easy kill. 2-on-2 now.
15 seconds. They're going to be feeling the pressure a little bit in a few moments, but Kirby is going to eviscerate Carrigan. The bomb's been dropped. 8 seconds now, and Olafmeister gets picked out by Kirby as well, who goes on for a 4K. You have to feel that's really one of the only ways that Astralis are going to win rounds at this point, is just one player going crazy.
And Kirby seems to be the one who's done it at different times. He's at 10-8. He's the only player positive on the entirety of the Astralis team. On the other side of things, I mean, just to see how scary this is, look at the 4 players on FaZe at the top of the scoreboard. Olaf, Nico, Rain, Kerrigan are all at 12 and 10 kills. So when you have 4 players performing at that kind of a level, it gets difficult.
Absolutely. And the thing is, well, with Guardian, it's not as if he's had a bad game. They've just been playing at such a quick pace. How does he get involved?
Well, I mean, there's only so many kills to go around, right? He's had a couple of the big impacts when his team has had success and he's able to post up, and that's where he's going to find most of his success. Rain continues his tear in mid, jumping into the window as well, looking for Rubino. I think they should know he's there, and Rubino just barely wins that fight. Meanwhile, the B pressure is on, but Zipnix has cover of smoke to help him out. 2 kills. Can go for more. Guardian's going to pick him out. Kerrigan here on Catwalk. Molotov to give himself some time and some space, and he connects that spray. One more at this B bomb site. Are they aware? Guardian misses the shot. That would have been a huge one to hit, and Dupree finishes it off with 2 USP kills. So Astralis making a small comeback here at the end, now up to 3 rounds.
Just saying that Guardian hasn't really had a chance. That was his moment, you have to feel, on this map, and as you say, he did miss it. Zipnix, though, again, as ever, is such a good B holding player in the apps. Also good on Catwalk. Doing so much work for his team. Even though he fell, information, 2 frags. You can't ask for more from the man.
Gonna get a second tactical pause, or no, this is Astralis. I thought it was FaZe. All right, cool. So tactical timeout from Astralis. They're gonna go for their 3rd, really wanting to get up towards 5. Might actually be a FaZe one. Kerrigan's the one who called for the pause in chat, so that might just be the second from FaZe, wanting to try and get up towards 12. And that's a big thing. I mean, Yanko said on the desk, they had a great T side yesterday, but the CT side is where they kind of lost some of the focus. So perhaps just saying, just in case, let's get as many rounds as humanly possible. Especially the pride factor for Kerrigan, wanting to really lay it on thick for his old team.
Well, for sure, and it's not like Astralis have been, the rounds that they've won have been super convincing. They've all been down to sort of 2v2, 3v3 scenarios. So FaZe know that they're ripe for the taking. They could easily get a 12-3 half, and at that point, second pistol could be a death sentence if Astralis lose it. Guardian with a kill onto Glaive. Smoke plume, but it's not going to save Glaive's life. dupreeh, that flashbang, just wrecks him, but he will return the favor onto Guardian. Headshot. So both AWPers start the round out with kills.
No more smokes on FaZe either. They need to get into this bomb site. These are great plays from Astralis coming out now in the middle of this execute. And now there's down, no smoke covering the choke points. They've got a Molotov. They have one on Olaf Meister. But dupreeh is still alive.
Smoking himself off just to make sure they couldn't push him. Allowing his two teammates to get into position now. And Olaf Meister is going to miss out on that chance. Rain's going to wait for his right moment to strike. Decides it's right here, right now. He wasn't pressed for time. Still 50 seconds. Maybe a little bit worried in case he turned around from CT boxes, but that flashbang's going to land in his face. He's able to still salvage the bomb, though.
Look at this from Astralis. They back off all the fights. They're just trying to buy time to allow this flank from Kirby to come through. Rain. Oh, the timing was almost there with that peek, but he survives. He doesn't commit to that fight. There's one coming from A-ramp. Is Rain going to realize this? No, not at all. Kirby's going to find him in the end. Nice mobility from him, adjusting his position. Him and Zipnik's working well to give up pressure at the same moment to allow that flank to come through. And finally, in the last round of the half, FaZe is out of money.
It was supreme confidence as well from Kirby that he has in Zipnik's, because as soon as the player dupreeh died on CT boxes, Kirby just made a beeline all the way around T-spawn to get round the back. And we're saying to Zipnik's, just don't die, stall for as long as you can, stop the bomb plant, I'll do the rest. And in this last round, as you highlighted, not much in terms of fun, so it's going to be a force buy, but Olaf Meister and Guardian, they've already picked out Glaive and Kirby.
Not looking great, but this is going to be tough. Oh, the timing, you have it. But there's dupreeh, adjusts nicely in the connector onto Kerrigan. Going to go back up to try and find Nico. The shoulder peek reveals his opponent. It is a 3-on-3. All rifles picked up for FaZe. They started with 2 CZs, and now they've got it. Zipnik's misses a spray, but Guardian is so low. Nade's not going to... Oh, yeah, it is. It catches him.
Been right on the edge.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was going to do the damage. Nades are a fickle mistress. Nico now at the tough spot.
Bomb also dropped in a horrendous position now. There's 3 Astralis players left, and here's another flank. This time it's going to be Rubino. The same idea as last round, really. Just stall. You can get around the back of them. It's a lot of information. They may think that someone's in Palace, but other than that, they know the other players around Tetris.
Yeah, I mean, look at Zipnik's and dupreeh. They're just saying, we're just going to play this so passively. Our only job is to make sure that they're cordoned into this A bomb site for this flank from Rubino. And now everyone just knows, in a 3-on-1, no reason to challenge in any scenario. He's got to get the bomb and he's got to plant. So everyone just hold your angles and wait for the beeps to come out. Nico's got to be the one to make a play to be the aggressor. This is the initial shot. The spray does connect, but he's taken way too much damage for his liking. 4 HP and 20 seconds left in this 1-on-2.
6 bullets left, so we will reload, replenish the ammunition. But yeah, I mean, you painted it perfectly here. The chance of him clutching this is so minimal, but he's got himself into a 1v1. And he's got the bomb as well. dupreeh doesn't have a nade. He can't flush out Nico. He's going to fake and try and force dupreeh into the open, and with 2 seconds left, dupreeh's running CZ headshot will finalize. Nico, one hell of a try, though.
Yeah, that was an insane shot onto A-ramp. The instant headshot onto Rubino gave him a chance. That was the story of the whole half for FaZe versus Astralis. Was great individual level out of FaZe players that Astralis couldn't handle for most of it. 5-10 for the CT side, not ideal. We'll see if they can make a comeback when we return from the break. And we're back. A 9-0 run to start this map for FaZe Clan. Ends them on a 10-5 half score on the offensive side of Mirage. We'll have to see if Astralis can make any effort in the second half. They did go on a 4-0 run to end the half, so they found some momentum at the end. They seem to get their legs under them, seem to get a little bit more confidence and more willing to take some of the fights and to stop FaZe. But it's going to be a very, very tough road to get into a victory here if you're Astralis.
Well, yeah, and the 5 rounds all came in the last 6. So at one stage it was 9-0 to FaZe Clan. So it was looking like this was going to be over before it really began. But they've given themselves a bit of wiggle room. They've given themselves a bit of a safety net. And this second pistol would certainly go a long way to making this match a lot more interesting.
Look at the fast pace brought out here. Caribbean going to lead the way. Teammates are smoked off from FaZe. They're going to get all the way towards CT spawn. Rain is in a lot of trouble. They don't pressure him, though, and Nico comes right through the smoke. He's found one. He sees another, and he's going to disappear right back through it. Somehow still alive. Glaive's going to pounce in mid. Nico wants to take this fight, and he doesn't care whatsoever. He's a bulldozer coming through. Spots one on Catwalk. There's the peek from Kerrigan, and this is all FaZe. 4-on-1.
Dupree at least has the bomb planted for him, but they're just tapping away. If he comes around the corner, his head's going to get taken off. He's hoping that they're faking it, but it's not going to be a fake. Kerrigan holds on with his kit.
I think Dupree's little like knife swing in the air was one of those concessions. He was just like, I can't win this. I give up.
How could this happen to me?
As it plays in the background. Yeah. Well, at least he kept the armor, I guess. There's the silver lining. So he has a cheap upgrade to head armor. Still 2,000. He's got a P250 and head armor. With the plan, I think Astralis is just going to say we'll buy in the next round. They absolutely need to get up on the board early on with that AK buy in the third.
Yeah, P250 is just the order of the day for Astralis. They are split across the map. No early rush for the time being. Zipnix and Glaive occupying down towards A. Kirby watching mid, just making sure no FaZe Clan members decide to push through and get around the back of his 2 teammates that are now going in underpass. And Glaive really just trying to bait out and draw out one of these rotations, but FaZe, they're not budging an inch. They know exactly what to expect. Guardian does eat a fair bit of damage. He's down to 54. It's going to keep him honest.
That's a pretty nice shot from Dupree. Little parting gift. I think Rain just spotted one in connector. Maybe not. Dupree's gotten into a great position, and Guardian hears him now. This is going to be very weird, though. It's Rain and it's Nico inside of this A bomb site, and they know one's up connector. So it could get dicey. 2 players waiting in mid, and 2 players coming towards a ramp. So attempting to split and attack and pressure this A site.
35 seconds coming up. FaZe must realize that an attack is imminent. And here we go. It's been pressed in. The button has came through, and Kirby and Zipnix have came through as well. Nico is the only player that's answered back, and he's been silenced. Kerrigan onto Kirby. Chaos ensues, but we'll see FaZe Clan with Olofmeister and Kerrigan both healthy, trying to retake the site against 3 of Astralis. Make that 2, one of which is Zipnix on the CT boxes. He's been spotted by Kerrigan, who's already picked up 3 in this round, and now Glaive has an idea where Olofmeister is, but Olofmeister too fast with the M4A4. Dispatches of him, and FaZe will have a successful retake.
Great round from Kerrigan, really gaining a lot of ground while the bomb was being planted and trusting Olofmeister to be able to keep Glaive pinned into Palace while he pushes towards CT spawn to deal with Zipnix. Couple critical kills there, but another plant is going to give a very, very strong buy over to Astralis, and that's a sigh of relief from FaZe, but those kills have done the damage. Rain's going to be onto a shotgun. Not going to have a whole lot to deal with here. They do have an AWP on Guardian. That's going in towards the mid window. The shotgun is going to get close up towards A ramp. But Rain's going to need some assistance. He's going to be under a lot of pressure here pretty soon.
Max 7, though, at least up close, is going to do so much work if Rain can just get in the right position. That smoke is going to clear soon. He knows it. He wants to just back away a little bit, keeping the angle, though, in his favor. Especially now that they've lost Glaive, they're going to be forced into just peeking this one, normally not wide peeking it, and Rain will oblige with 2. Just bludgeoning Astralis on the attack, and, well, this round is pretty much done. The bomb's in a horrible spot. FaZe have got 4 players left, and Rain is putting them on the cross. Kirby will be silenced. And now Zipnix, the lone survivor.
What a round from Rain. 2 kills with a shotgun. With that kind of success, you can see Astralis just knows they're pinned. They have nowhere to go. If they come out Palace, they've got to fight Connector, they've got to fight CT Spawn, and they've got to fight towards a ramp. So they just give it up, and Rain's even able to cut off the retreat. That was pretty much everything. That was one of the last hopes Astralis is going to have. That was their big chance. 2 plants in the second and third round. Have a very strong buy there. Or excuse me, in the first 2 rounds, the first and second, and then a very strong buy, but they get nothing done. Not even a whole lot of economic damage, considering Rain with the shotgun gained so much bonus money, and Guardians having a field day.
Not baiting each other out either. It's not as if one jumped across and tried to fake for a 1D. Like, they just went out one by one, and Guardian's not going to miss those chances. Now Dupree in mid, narrowly escaping from that nade damage, but I mean, the damage has already been inflicted on the rest of his team. 4 health left, and FaZe just cruising to what would seem a very comfortable victory.
Yeah, this is not looking good, is it, Vince? To put it lightly, this has been a battering from start to finish. 5 AKs again for the Astralis side of things. Caribbean and Dupree's topping the scoreboard. Zipnix is there as well now with 10. And it's just been overwhelming from FaZe, and Olaf with the aggression, chiming in with Guardian with the assist. I think that was a nade that gets the assist. An early advantage for FaZe, and now Dupree feels like he's got to make the play, but Guardian's here. The mobility. He was in mid last round, now he's over towards B. Molotov forces Rubino out into the open, and there's 3 players shooting at him at once, and Nico just dueling towards top mid.
This is a revitalized FaZe from what we saw yesterday. Night and day in their performance. This is the kind of FaZe that, you know, people say are world beaters, that they're going to make one of their own dynasties, but then we see them, you know, like yesterday, and they just fall short. But this has been an incredible performance. I
mean, one of the few criticisms you can have of this FaZe team, despite, you know, some of the high tournament placings they've had with this roster, is the fact that Kerrigan's even said it himself. They need to have some kind of a tactical and strategic foundation. But if FaZe shows up like this, you don't need that. If you just win everything, you don't need it. Nico's going to get the opening kill. Trying to push in towards connector. Nico's not aware that it's this fast, but he turns. Glaive misses the shot. How did he get that one tap? Spinning around again to a whole new angle. And Olaf is going to cover Guardian. It's just Dupree, and he's got nothing. 16-5. FaZe send a message.
They're coming for that title, is the message, loud and clear. In every single way, they were leaps and bounds ahead. There was no weak links. It's not as if anyone on FaZe had a rough game or had a rough few moments. Everyone was just pulling their weight, man. I look at that game and I just think, from that performance, Astralis are going to struggle to qualify. They're going to struggle to go through to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a scary prospect, isn't it?
Especially for the fans, the Danish fans.
So we're waiting for the Des to come back, but I know they wanted us to try and sample this cake, this birthday cake of yours.
Okay.
I want you to play a game called What's in My Mouth, and I want you to tell me what these green things are. These things.
I can't say I've ever played What's in My Mouth before. It smells like apples, I would say.
Okay.
I'll take a bite.
I'm enjoying this.
It's crunchy. Yeah, I think it's an apple.
There's no way that's an apple.
I think it is.
All right, whatever.
It's good.
I've never enjoyed a cake in this way.
Thanks, guys. I never thought I'd play What's in My Mouth with Jason.
Well, you learn something new every day, don't you?
I'm happy I'm playing that right now.
Yeah, it's good. I still don't think that's an apple.
It might not be. I may have lied to you.
Jason's usual Tinder line. Do you want to play What's in My Mouth?
Banter.
Banter. Good game, guys. Thank you so much. We love you. Go take a break, because we're going to be having a whole lot more casting from you.
Will do.
And happy birthday, Vince. Right, that is going to be our first game of the day, done Group A, locked and loaded, especially for FaZe Clan, who have been gifted a win versus Astralis. And saying gifted, it's 16-5. The Danes didn't really manage to make too much of an impact in that one. I got myself Sponge and Yanko. I forgot to button up my shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. The game was over so quickly, no one knew what happened, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of those rounds, Astralis sitting there scratching their head as their faces got melted off by the FaZe roster, just peeling out, popping domes, getting it done, popping domes.
I think that pistol round set the tone for the whole game. I mean, Rain and Nico in a 2v5, simply just turning the whole round for FaZe, and the problem was it's, you know, almost every single time you say, whenever it's a 2v5, it's a mistake on the team that has an advantage as well, allowing their players to get singled out. And of course, that was the case here too, but not that much. They were just stealing some mad shots. You know, they didn't even know where Rain was to begin with, so he had that flanking position with a P250 and armor, so that allowed him to get a couple of kills. And then once they were in a 2v3, they knew where all the 3 remaining players are, and that's where it gets dangerous, because they know what to expect. They know what the angles of approach are for the Astralis guys, and it was doable for them.
Danish in-game leaders, Alex, having a shocker this tournament. Played with only 5 frags there. MSI, I think, is having the worst tournament of his career.
Oh, man.
So it's not great for them on home soil, but something just to note, statistically wise as well, we have been saying this on and off about the FaZe roster, that when they're playing well, it's because like Rain and Olaf are like actually chiming in and being contributors. We saw at Epicenter, they were both very quiet. Here in this matchup, we had Nico towards the top, but then it was Rain, then it was Olaf. Obviously 16-5, it's a little bit different. If it was a closer matchup and they're still towards the top, might be backing up the stats a bit more.
And also the manner in which FaZe won their initial couple of gun rounds. I mean, I feel like they were doing nothing, so to speak, because it was just like quick mid control, into trying to get into connector quick and also creep out of A, and they won both gun rounds by that. First gun round, they, Olaf Meister through that gap in the smoke in ramp, saw that Dupree try to sneak into the sandwich position, so then just blindly when they walked out, he just started, spamming and then knifed him. And in the second gun round, we actually have it here, the overview, so you can see what happened. Glaive is the guy who's playing close A, right? So as you can see, he's in shadow, basically. I think the AUG was a misbuy. I don't see why he would go for that gun. And again, you see the FaZe players over here on mid, they're taking mid control, they're gonna try to go connector quick. You can see how Rain and Eco are ready to go apps, Guardian is ready to go A, just a full-on A split, basically just trying to get timing. This is what they do. See, they're walking out, they don't care. They like are trying to find a duel, they're feeling comfortable right now. You can pause it right here, you can see that he died, he was getting mollied off by Guardian, he has to throw a smoke, he has no idea. He wants to retreat, he has no idea. Rain is already all the way out towards Sandwich. Nico is already out towards Ramp. They also had a smoke here to negate that area of approach. And by Glaive dying there, that splits the attention of the Astralis defense completely. That's when the guys on mid also get a kill, and the round completely falls apart. And this is the dream for Carrigan. He wins 2 rounds like this. He didn't use any set pieces, nothing. It's almost impossible for Astralis to get a read. And if anything, what they should have done sooner was get more focus towards mid, because that was really the main problem for them in this city side.
We definitely seem to encounter a whole lot of issues there, Chad. If we look towards Astralis, are we going to be kind of giving them a bit of a pass, a free pass towards the end of 2017, just given that, with due to circumstances entirely out of their control, they don't have their star AWPer, they don't have a unit.
It's not going to be the same level of team that we expect, right? Obviously, the blast thing could be an anomaly, could be a little blip on the radar. To be fair, Kirby is still playing well, Dupree's still playing well in terms of individually, and that's something which could be a highlight as we roll into next year. Yeah. I think that it's a write-off at this point.
I think it's very unfortunate, what happened to Device towards the end of the year, because for us to gauge Astralis as a team throughout the year, you pointed it out yesterday, they won the major in Atlanta, they won Katowice. That's all the tournaments they won this year. You would expect them to lift that trophy a couple of times at least. Yes, they were in a number of finals. Yes, they had a lot of top placings, but not that many trophies. And, with Oakland, Pro League finals, Blast, ECS finals, those were a couple of opportunities for them with their full roster to maybe lift another one. Now we won't know until the next major, unfortunately.
Fantastic question actually just popped up. It was actually from Maniac, of course, French Counter-Strike player, and he just did a tweet. It may not have been him.
No, it was him. I was just trying to think where he is actually.
LDLC.
Oh, he's Swiss. But
yeah, that's so confusing.
He's Swiss, not French. He speaks French. Do excuse me. The Swiss speak everything.
Yeah.
He just tweeted saying, "Is it fair to say that Rain has now kind of cemented himself as a top 6 or top 5 player? My eyesight's not great in the world after the performances. Not necessarily this one, but in terms of the year,
probably top 10. We'd have to go look at the drawing board for the top 5.
It's safe to say, and we've said it before, Yanko and Chad, that we didn't expect him to be the star of FaZe by any stretch of the imagination. He was the backbone player, right? That's what he was kind of picked up for.
I think you can definitely put him as probably the second star of the team now, behind Nico. Guardian is obviously right up there, but he's maybe a bit more inconsistent. Same with Olaf Meister, but Rain has been playing out of his mind ever since that roster change was made.
Absolutely, and we're going to be seeing more from FaZe Clan as their day does continue. It'll be a little later on in the day. You get to see them on the B stream, I believe, as well. Coming up on the A stream, though, with us, we'll be breaking it down and telling you all about our next game. Hellraisers have raised hell in the first day, and we'll see if they can do the same in the second. They're going up against Astralis. Join us after the break as we see how that one shapes up.
The Legion post-match breakdown. shaking you up right now. You are gonna scream out loud. We want your soul. We are gonna take control. Shaking you up right now.
Try box. Stairs, stairs, stairs.
Nothing great ever happened without a witness.
Oh, you guys saw that?
With the power to capture comes the